What up, this is Ramashkrin covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Netflix's new documentary series, How to Change Your Mind. Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you'd like to help support the channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramashkrin. That's patreon.com/ramashkrin. Let's rock this. What's funny was that at first glance, I thought this was gonna be a docu about some kind of a debate team, or instructions on how to make your case or how to get your arguments across. You know, kind of like, I think strawberry sucks, now change my mind, that sort of a deal. Little did I know that this is actually about altering your own consciousness via drugs. But when it comes down to it, this docu is still about changing your perspective, changing your opinions, your point of view, your stance, if you will, about psychedelic drugs. If you are from the generation that thinks all drugs are bad, then perhaps this docu's enlightening, historical, and comprehensive information can loosen you up a bit, so you won't be too uptight in your old ways anymore. Academy Award-winning filmmaker Alex Gibney and New York Times bestselling author Michael Pollan present this documentary series event in 4 parts, each focused on a different mind-altering substance. With Pollan as our guide, we journey to the frontiers of the new psychedelic renaissance and look back at almost forgotten historical contexts to explore the potential of these substances to heal and change minds as well as culture. How to Change Your Mind is directed by Emmy-nominated filmmaker Alison Elwood and 2-time Academy Award-nominated and Emmy-winning filmmaker Lucy Walker. If you've never heard of the name Michael Pollan, don't worry, I'm on the same boat. But Michael is an expert on topics like botany and the socio-cultural impacts of food and the environment. In other words, he knows exactly what he's talking about. Or at the very least, he's willing to experiment or learn along with you. The first episode deals with LSD. The second episode focuses on psilocybin, which is a fancy word for magic mushroom. The third episode delves into the world of MDMA and ecstasy. And the fourth episode is about mescaline or psychedelic cactus or peyote. And the patterns on each episode is that it gives you the origins of these drugs and the chemical compounds and the public figures associated with it. And it also explains the government policies reacting to the popularity of these drugs. And I'm glad that this docu does not leave that crucial part out, because we need to keep pounding and pounding the fact that the war on drugs policy in its nature is harmful, racist, and political. Of course, Michael Pollan's objective is to let you in on the positive effect of these drugs. By the end of every episode, he himself tries them out and describes the result vividly. Using fluid visuals and animation, this docu tries its best to capture every little detail when the person is high as a kite. I personally have never experimented on these 4 drugs. I'm a weed guy. Weed is the furthest I'm willing to go at this point in my life. But I do believe that these alternatives need to be explored, especially after years of Purdue Pharma's opioid epidemic killing thousands of people with their addictive pills. So the time is now to explore the possibility that maybe there's a better, more natural, non-addictive way to treat pain, depression, and trauma. But unfortunately, we still live in a conservative country, so progress or process on those aspects still run very slow compared to how it is in other countries. If I do have one criticism about this docuseries is that sometimes it can get way too bloated. Sometimes they would go off on a tangent, reaching for a connection that isn't there, before ultimately coming back on track. Look, I get that Michael Pollan wanted to jam-pack everything he knows from his book into this show. And yes, the information is quite digestible, pun intended, but it should not feel like a classroom lecture, which sometimes it kinda does. Nonetheless, I hope this docu can help move the needle on public opinion about psychedelic effects, because the freedom to tweak one's consciousness should be a personal choice and not something that the government disallows or mandates.